Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
What am I drink? What am I think? You're listening to Popeye News Links. This is the Admiral Tibet who I represent, and remember, the time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. This is Popeye News Links.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. In this video, once again we are going to drive and talk. We are still in the Garden Parish of St. Ann. Continue to sit back, continue to relax, and continue to enjoy this journey with me. Now, this one is very, very serious. A mother is making some serious allegations against her 4-year-old son's father. You're gonna hear what she has to say from her own mouth. I must tell you this. Yeah, man, I must tell you this. Due to YouTube's policy, I'm gonna have to edit some of what she's saying. Meaning, you will see what she's saying, but you're not gonna be able to hear it. I hope you understand, because I have to do what it takes to protect this channel. Remember to hit on the love button from now. Share the video. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Look and listen, and you be the judge. Good night, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Nikisha Williams. I am the mother of Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I am.
How old is Caleb?
Caleb is 4 years old.
So tell me, and you're living in the United States, right?
Yes.
Okay. You don't wish to say which state?
I live in Connecticut.
You live in Connecticut? Okay.
Yeah.
Caleb is your only child?
No, my first. I have a 7-month-old.
Okay. So what is happening? Tell me what's happening.
Okay, so basically, Caleb had went and spent some time with his father. Spent about 5 days. Came back. The following morning, he was complaining about his bottom hurting him. So, itching is what the word he used. He said his bottom was itching him. So I figured he needed to bathe. Brought him to the shower, bathed him. He said it was still itching. Took him out the shower, brought him to the room. And when I brought him on the bed and look and examine his bottom, it's like you can see that something was done to him. Like as soon as you look at the image, you know
Yes.
somebody touched him.
Yes.
After that happened, I started to ask him, like, did anybody, etc. Did anybody? He wasn't telling me anything at first because it seemed like he was scared to talk. So, we have a good relationship, Caleb and I. He's comfortable talking
All
to
right,
me.
let's just step back a bit. How long ago was this?
This happened. They dropped him off on the 18th, and I brought him to the
18th
hospital on
of
the
October?
19th of October. Yes.
And you brought him to the hospital, and so
The
how
19th.
how long was he with his father before he was dropped off?
5 days. He went the Friday night, and his
Yes,
dad dropped him back the Wednesday night.
Wednesday. So you would have brought him to the hospital the Thursday.
The Thursday, yes.
All right, go ahead.
So after he started to tell me, he opened up and explained to me what had happened. I called my mom, family started to get involved because no, this is a serious issue. He's complaining still, so I'm like getting him ready to take him to the urgent care. Urgent care couldn't help us because of the level of the problem. Brought him to the hospital. The hospital, they examined him, did everything, ran our kits. They did the blue light, took his clothes that he wore, everything. They did everything. Told me every single last thing about the STDs, the this and the that. He started to get tired. We went home. After we went home that night, at the time, I hadn't asked him specifically what happened. I just know like pieces. Like he's trying to explain it, but he don't know how to really put the words together. Like how you and I would know how to talk straight.
Yes.
So when we get home, I just comfort him. The police came that night, like 8 police cars, 8 cop cars came and took my statement. about what happened with my son. I was expecting, like, within a day or two to get a response. I didn't hear anything from anyone, like not a single word. From the night the police came, I didn't hear anything. I just started praying. I started praying because I God must say. So I started praying the next morning, which would have been the Sunday night, which was the 29th. The Monday morning, someone called me from New Jersey, not from Connecticut, where I reported the crime, where I brought him to the hospital where the police came out, but from New Jersey. So the social worker called me. After she called me and she asked me, did anybody reach out? Is there any update? I said, no, there's no update, nothing. She said, okay, I'm going to make a call. Made a call. That same afternoon, somebody came out from Bridgeport. The social worker came out. She started talking to me. She questioned my son at the time. It had been like 11 days now. So she came out on the 30th. So the incident happened on the 19th when I took him to the hospital. She came out on the 30th. So at this point, it had been 11 days. I hadn't questioned Caleb. I didn't ask him anything. I didn't say anything to him. I just let him rest. When she started questioning him, he started to tell her things that we hadn't really heard before. He was saying pieces of that before, but it wasn't the full picture. So now he's giving us a full view of what took place, how his father did what he did to him, and etc. etc. I'm like, okay. The social worker said, don't say anything, don't give no response, nothing like that, because they're going to do an interview. They're going to interview him, record him, his statement, so that he wouldn't have to go to trial and testify.
Yes.
After she came that Monday, the Tuesday they called me. I made an appointment for the Wednesday, and I brought him that Wednesday to do the interview. They sat, they talked to me. I expressed to them how I was upset because I didn't understand how a child could express to you guys that his father, a 4-year-old child, expressed to you that his father raped him, and there has been no type of movement, no type of nothing. I expressed that to them. They told me that they were sorry because somebody dropped the ball and etc. etc. It was calm. The situation wasn't that serious. So, they wasn't going to do anything about it. So I let them do their thing. I asked them if I was going to get to see the video that he made. They said, no, I cannot see the video. It's going to go straight to the prosecutor and whosoever is dealing with the case. So then I said, can I know what he said? The social worker that was here the night, she was also in the room at the time with the other individuals that were in the room. So she's proceeded to say to me, oh, his story is the same from that night. Only thing he said, his dad put tape on his mouth.
What? Yes.
So now I'm like, tape. So I'm shocked, but at the same time, my son is my priority. So I have to try and keep my composure. So we go home, I sit him down, and I finally decide to ask him, Caleb, what happened? Do you feel comfortable talking to mommy and telling mommy what happened? He said, yes, mommy. So I said, can you show mommy what happened to you? Caleb said to me, Mom, my dad put tape on my mouth.
Yes.
He said to me, if I scream, I won't get any candy. But if I don't scream, I will get candy. He laid Caleb on the bed, on his stomach, climbed on top of him from behind, and started to Caleb. The girlfriend, the father's girlfriend, is in the bed next to them. She wakes up because Caleb has obviously a reaction to what his father is doing to him. He's a child. I'm an adult. And if somebody touch my bum, I have don't do that. Much less a child to go to that extent. You have to understand he had to be in some excruciating pain. Excruciating pain. So the girlfriend wakes up. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. She's cussing him out. That wakes up the grandmother because they live in a 1-bedroom apartment. And the space is tight, so you can hear. That wakes up the grandmother. The grandmother come out. She beat him, beat the father. The father took the tape off my son's mouth, gave him the candy, and told him he was sorry. My son could even describe to me. He said, Mommy, one of the candy was sour and the other one was a lollipop. He said, Mommy, it was so sour. And I'm like, to even sit and hear my child vividly explain to him how his own father Him own father, I sent him to protect him, to keep and watch over him. Him. We're gonna use the proper words because we're not gonna cover it up. To me, that is the biggest issue that we are facing right now. Things like this happening, nobody is saying nothing. It's covered up, it's pretty up. No, you raped my child. You took his innocence. You took his innocence. That was never supposed to happen to my child. Worse, your own son, your own child, your own. Your own. How do you have your woman in the bed beside you and find the strength to get up and trouble your child? Tom, I've never in my life heard anything like that. Prior to this story coming to the night when I came home from the hospital, I called the father and I asked him. I said, Chad, what happened to Caleb's bottom? How come nobody said anything to me about what happened? I have the record and I have everything. And he said, oh, it happened because he was sharding and pooping on himself. And then when we bathed him and etc. And I'm like, that don't make sense. And then I'm like, what do you mean? The girlfriend takes the phone and she starts to talk and she's like, oh, I was the one who was bathing him most of the time. And oh, he was sharding and it happened because he was pooping and I put cream on it. And one bugger story that don't make sense. That made no sense. So I end the conversation. At the time I sent his dad I'm like, look at your phone. Look at what I'm looking at. His father, because on WhatsApp, it shows you when somebody read the message. You see the blue tick.
Yes.
When I sent his father the images and I said, look at your phone, his father said, oh, I see it. But his father never looked at the images because the blue tick never checked. Therefore, at that moment, you knew. The night when he dropped off my son, he made sure to remind my son in front of me. Because when I took my son, he said to my son, tell your mother what I told you. Smartly reminding the child of the manipulation that he put inside of him prior to. He said, tell your mother what I told you. Caleb is half asleep. They dropped all the way from New Jersey. So I said, tell me what you tell him because he's obviously sleeping. His dad said, oh, I'm taking him to amusement park or whatever when you guys come back. So I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything. But when you start to look at the whole picture now and you say, okay, you made sure and tell him that my son come home. He's like, mommy, daddy's going to get me 2 phones. He's going to get me 2 phones. And I'm like, 2 phones? Caleb have tablet, Caleb have this. Why is this a thing? No. So when we went to the hospital and all the pieces are coming together, I'm like, wow.
Yes.
The level where this man got to, the level that he went to. This is a person that have no heart left. There's no heart there. You have not leave inside. There's nothing left inside of you. You don't deserve to be walking freely and doing as you please, because if you can do that to your own child, what won't you do to somebody else's? What wouldn't you do to someone else's child? That is a child that you produced. That child came from you, trusted you, and you took away his innocence. Took away his innocence for what? Even up till now, you cannot give me an explanation. You cannot say anything to me. You have nothing said. You went as far as, that you guys, you opened him up. When you did what you did, you opened up his bottom. So he was releasing, him having bowel movements. You sent back the dirty clothes with the poop and everything on it to try to prove your point even further, to show that that's what happened even when it didn't. Even up till today, when the video went out that I made, the grandmother called me. Prior to I released that video, I called the grandmother. She didn't answer me. I called the father. I questioned him about it. I said, "Well, he's not answering me." My father called him. He don't want to talk about it. He don't have nothing to say about it. It's just, oh, we bathed him and him cheer up. That's it. Okay. When I called him and he didn't have anything to say, I knew right then and there. I knew right then and there was nothing else left for me to do. There's I don't have to wait on any police. I don't have to do anything else, because at the end of the day, my child sat down with me, police, social workers, all different pediatricians were in the room, everybody, and explained to you guys what happened to him. Did an interview, did a video, and nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing
What
at
do you mean
all.
nothing? Nothing. So no action. What happened? What the
They
authority?
not do. They're still not doing anything. They have the fact that I could call him the night before last and
Mm-hmm.
say to him, ask him the questions about what happened to Caleb and etc. etc. He had no response. I know the police haven't even reached out to him yet because he felt as if his plan worked. When I called him the other night, nonchalant, no type of anything. Oh,
So when last have you spoken to the authorities about what they are doing about it? When last you spoke with them?
in last week, I personally called the prosecutors myself, and
What
I
they
said
say?
to her, "You guys,
Yes.
we did the video the other day. What's going on?" She said, "Oh, I'm not sure if we have the video yet or whatever the case may be." I said, "Okay, so what's the time like? What's the process? What is it looking like?" She said, "It's an investigation. It takes time. We have to collect the evidence. We have to wait on the kid and this, that, and the third. And it can take up to 90 days." And I'm saying to myself, like, what else is there left to? I don't know if I'm exaggerating the situation,
Mm-hmm.
but just to hear a child explain, and it wasn't the father, it wasn't the grandmother, it was no
All
one.
right, let me ask you
A
this.
child.
Let me ask you this. So far, has anyone in authority said anything to you for you to say they are not believing what your son is saying?
It's not necessarily not believing what he's saying. It's in a sense it is, but it isn't. Because if you're gonna tell me that you have to wait on the rape kit in order for you to make any type of movements, and the rape kit can take up to 90
90
days
days.
before
Yes.
you guys figure out anything. That's you basically telling me it can take up to 90 days before you guys can even give me any type of response about what is going on.
So
I
they are waiting on the kid to confirm that something happened. That's what they are saying.
confirm that's exactly what they're saying. They're waiting on the kid to confirm that something took place. That
Oh.
doesn't make sense to me.
Oh.
That don't make sense to me. You guys have every other piece of evidence that you could possibly need. If somebody came and said somebody robbed me right now, you
Mm-hmm.
guys would take that case more serious than how you're taking a case where a child is telling you what his own father did to him. The trauma that I have to watch my child go through daily. Don't want to use the bathroom, holding his poop, won't let nobody touch him, insomnia, not sleeping at night, not eating properly, acting out. I have to watch that every day,
And,
every
and
single
and by
day.
the looks of things, it seems as if no one in authority said anything to the father.
No, and by the looks of things, no one said anything to him. I was at work the night before last and I called him. I hadn't asked him personally before
Mm-hmm.
that moment, had he Caleb. I didn't say it to him that way. I only
Mm-hmm.
said to him that he had something on his bottom and no one said nothing to me. This time I was more direct. I said to him, "I have something to talk to you about." He said, "Okay." I said, Caleb came home with something on his bottom and he told me that you did something to him. I said, "Did you do anything to Caleb?" He said, "No." I said, "You didn't push anything in Caleb's bottom? You didn't do anything to him?" He said, "No." I said, "Chad, are you sure you didn't do anything to him?" He said, "No." So I said, "Why would Caleb be saying that you did something to him?" "I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. The only thing we did was bathe him." I said, "You don't find it concerning that your
Mm-hmm.
child is accusing you of raping him?" I mean, no type of reaction.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yes.
You know what you did. You know what you did.
Because I've seen, I saw two videos and it look away to me.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I said it in the video I made earlier. As soon as you look at the image,
Yes.
instantly you feel it in your stomach. You
Yeah, man. I
just
saw.
know. So I'm not telling no lies. I have
Mm-hmm.
no reason to tell lie on this man. Caleb have no reason to tell lie on this man because prior to this, your
Mm-hmm.
son love you. And even after you did this to him, he still love you because he don't understand that what you did was wrong. He still don't understand that. I have to explain to him what's going on daily, take my time, pace him. I have to go at his pace. I have to take time with him, be gentle. You just you mess with the pitney mind. He already noticing things that he never even used to talk about before. Body parts, sexual orientation, things that he never used to see. You open up the child mind, your own child. And then you have the audacity. His mother called me today to cuss me out, and tell me how I am wicked and how I'm going to suffer and my pitney them will not prosper and how she's this and that and etc. and etc. Knowing what your child did, picking up for him even after the fact. You are just as bad as him. You, the girlfriend, and him, the three of you guys need to get consequences. The three of you need to be locked up. Because if you can, in order for you to sit and witness something like that and not respond, you cannot have a heart. You cannot have a heart. When a kid bawl out a certain way, a kid cry out like that, just to even imagine my child crying out in that moment with tears over his mouth. And not one of you guys said anything. Not one of you. I called, I asked questions. Not one of you guys came forward and said, you know what? This was wrong and he needs to get punished. So therefore, you're just as bad. You're just as bad. You're just as bad. I don't even want nothing more than justice for Caleb. And to be honest, the narrative of sexual abuse to be changed.
Yes.
To be changed. As a child, I went through it. Family members I know go through it. My mother go through it. Grandmother go through it. Everybody going through it. And nobody is speaking up. Nobody is saying anything. Covering it up. Keeping it. No, but then the children grow up and they have desires for the other sex. Become gay, become this, become that. I will laugh after them. Them a batty man, them a this, them a that. Not knowing what that child endured. Not knowing. The narrative have to change. The narrative have to change. Too much people suffering from the same thing. Too much. And it's normalized. Why is it normalized? For somebody to be raped, to be molested, why is that normalized? Why can a 4-year-old be raped and a man just walk freely? Why? There's something that makes sense. That don't make no sense.
When this go out, if he wants to come on and say his piece, well, he's welcome because
gladly.
Yeah.
Gladly say something.
Yes.
Something. Yes. Because this it don't look good.
This is a very serious allegation.
It's very serious.
And
at this point we can't even call it an allegation. Is when we're not certain.
Yes.
At this point, we are certain. I don't know about anybody else, and this is why I have to come out for my child.
Yes.
I know. If nobody else don't know, that's fine.
Yes.
But I know what happened to my child, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that he get the justice that he deserves. Because I'm not gonna keep quiet, and then later on he's struggling with it. He's acting out. He don't do it. No. We're going to take care of it. You're going to get the account. You're going to take the accountability that you need to take. You're going to take accountability for your actions. That's way. I cannot ever in my life say I've ever heard of anything like this. I've never
heard of anything like this. Trust me.
Never.
Yeah, this one shocked me up. Nikisha, we'll talk. All right.
Thank you so much for hearing me out. Thank you so much for taking the time to put my son's message on your platform. I am grateful. Yes. We are grateful that you support us. We are grateful. I thank you. And you have a very good night.
Yeah, man. Same to you. All right. Cool. Same to you. Blessed love, everybody.